Welcome, I'm Jack Dee and welcome to Have I Got News For You. In the news this week, at the Labour Party conference, Gordon Brown's speech comes to an end just as John Prescott is about to complete the first box of Sudoku. Stockwell police are forced to apologise again as PC Atkinson arrests yet another member of the public for looking a bit Brazilian. And in London, Kate Moss's nephew finally finds out what his auntie keeps in her special tin. On Ian Hislop's team is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Sport newspaper, who recently fell foul of the Advertising Standards Authority. I think it was the word newspaper that they had a problem with. Please welcome Tony Livesey. And with Paul Merton tonight, a television presenter who said in a recent interview, "I'm so short-sighted that when I read autocue, I need the words so big that they're broken down into single syllables that fill the screen." Well, that's just stupid. Please welcome Claudia Winkleman. We start with round one. Ian and Tony, who do you fancy?
Oh, Tory Panto, Grumpy.
SAS there.
Yep. Doc.
KFC there.
Fatty. And Dopey.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Puff Daddy, as he's now known.
Oh, look. What's going on there, Tony?
I've no idea, because I'd just like to be the first member of the panel to say I don't do drugs anyway.
Not at all?
No.
How on earth do you write the Sunday Sport?
I don't know.
So, according to Telegraph, the Tory leadership first-round ballot will be decided by sudden death.
Good.
Yeah, my money's on Ken Clarke. David Cameron is the favourite at the moment to win. But what question did he duck earlier this week?
He was asked if he smoked marijuana. He said, "I've had a perfectly normal university experience," which most people would assume would be rotten tutu and a lot of time in the student bar. Yeah. But I think it's code. I think it's code for "I tried a spliff."
Ken Clarke didn't do the drugs, he just enjoyed the munchies afterwards, that's all right.
According to the...
What are munchies?
They're little creatures in The Wizard of Oz.
So, David Davis was front-runner until last week, wasn't he? What went wrong?
He made a very, very dull speech.
There were a couple of clues that people were following, actually, before he made his speech. ITN, in particular, here's a report from the news the day before his big conference speech.
David Davis, the favourite, has some work to do when he speaks tomorrow. He addressed a fringe last night, and many who listened weren't terribly impressed. Exactly.
So what's been holding Davis back, according to his spokesman?
He didn't rehearse the speech at all, and he had to do that sort of little gesture at the end to get people to stand up.
Oh, no. Which can be misinterpreted, can't it?
Yeah.
There was one particular phrase that I was looking for that his spokesman said that his classically English reluctance to discuss his feelings had got in the way, although his classically English reluctance doesn't seem to extend as far as his upbringing, as you can see here in this clip.
I lived on a council estate. I was brought up by a single mother. I grew up on a council estate. I still remember how delighted we were when we were given a council house. Now, my mum was single. I was persuaded to go back to the council estate where I used to live. Because I grew up on a council estate. I come from a relatively lowly background. An awful lot's been made of that in the last week.
Of course, out of fairness, we should also mention Liam Fox. Hello, Liam. And finally, which big beast of the Tory jungle was out partying on Thursday night?
Mrs T.
Oh, right, yeah.
She was 80.
Not long ago.
Did anyone see Margaret Thatcher's official birthday photograph?
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it?
Wasn't it nice?
Oh.
Yeah, should we have a look at it now?
Yeah, can we have a look?
It was by Patrick Litchfield. Took it. He said she required less touching up than a 19-year-old model. And then added, we just tidied up a few stray hairs. Quick shave and she was off. Well, this is a rare political story, an election that a Tory is going to win. Theresa May backed David Cameron as Tory leader, saying we could win back groups where support had been lost, such as young people and women, along with old people and men. Malcolm Rifkind was questioned over his use of illegal substances and insisted, I have never taken drugs. I wouldn't normally say this, but seriously, Malcolm, have a go. Colin, Claudia, who's at it again?
Oh.
OK, yes. So this is, of course, David Blunkett. That's... is that Annabelle's?
Yes.
Is that Annabelle's?
Looks quite glamorous. Oh, that's the girl who was naughty because she phoned Max Clifford and pretended that she liked him. That's not her anymore.
So obviously a lie detector test going on there, and that's the Channel 4 thing they did the other night, wasn't it?
Yes.
I didn't see it myself. So this is David Blunkett's latest bit of trouble.
It is, it is. Do we have a name?
For
Sally.
her.
Sally Anderson.
Anderson, good.
Anderson, yes, Sally Anderson. And where did they meet?
Another name is Slapper. She sold the story to Clifford. Don't go, Heath.
He did. And also, he got into a bit of sticky mess because
You're making the dirty jokes up here. We're being clean up here. Yes, he got into a sticky mess, yeah.
Good. Because he was given an honorary membership by Annabelle's because they thought he was charming.
He didn't declare it as one of his parliamentary interests.
He didn't declare it, so he was in trouble about that. The lie detector thing is all about fraud.
The lie detector was for the benefit of it. I mean, anybody who's attempting to defraud the government, Blunkett wants them to take a lie detector test. It would be interesting, say, for people who took 2 train tickets and declared them as expenses, when one of them was for the woman he was shagging at the time. It'd be interesting, I don't know, for fast-tracking the nanny. Are you or aren't you?
The two of them, they were fixed up there, they met. Can you remember who arranged this?
A man called Tariq Siddiqui. He runs a business which Blunkett actually briefly sat on the board of, which, I mean, and you can't make this up, it does paternity tests. Combining work and pleasure.
The interesting thing about this guy is that he wants to meet Blunkett because he's got some whippets, and he wants to introduce the whippets to Blunkett's dog. So I just got this vision of him having a few pints down Annabelle's and then Blunkett picking the wrong dog to take him home.
You'd be worse off if it was a greyhound and it was running that night. You suddenly find yourself coming out of trap 5 at hell of a speed.
Well, there was a car going past with a rabbit in the back window.
It's just another instalment in the affairs of David Blunkett. According to the Mail, Mr Blunkett asked his friends to describe 29-year-old estate agent Sally Anderson, as he didn't quite believe her own description, which claims she was large upstairs with agreeable views back and front and no doubt a touch damp in the basement. At the height of his affair with Kimberly Quinn, it was suggested that Mr Blunkett had also stolen someone else's girlfriend, Denise Maguire, according to the Mail. At the time, Denise was living with another civil servant, Andy Hurdle, but she soon got over him. And so to round 2. Brace yourselves, it's the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here's your first picture.
Wallace and Gromit, they just had the new film's coming out, but they had a bit of a disastrous fire and they lost a lot of their props. There we are.
It's in Bristol and all. They've lost all of the animals and the bicycles and the penguins.
I know.
Yeah, the big...